Pain is the first visitor every soul meets on the road to greatness. It enters uninvited, lingers without mercy, and whispers questions that strike fear into the bravest of hearts. Most run from it, most curse it, resist it, or drown themselves in distraction to avoid its presence. Yet those who rise to their highest self discover this eternal truth. Pain is not the destroyer. Pain is the teacher. It is the silent instructor of life, and its lessons are worth more than all the gold piled in the vaults of kings. Comfort has never built an empire. Ease has never shaped a character of steel. Pleasure alone has never carved monuments that endure through the ages. It is through struggle, through burning, through nights of wrestling with invisible burdens that the soul is refined and prepared for the destiny it seeks. To curse pain is to curse your own awakening. Understand this well. Every wound holds within it a seed of wisdom. Every hardship conceals a treasure that cannot be purchased with coin. When suffering presses against you, it does not come to end you. It comes to instruct you, but its voice is not loud. It does not shout. It waits for you to grow still, to stop running, to turn and face it. Only then does it reveal the secret. You are stronger than you have ever been. Many live their entire lives running from the lessons of pain. They cover it with noise, numb it with indulgence, bury it beneath false smiles and shallow pursuits. Yet what is avoided does not vanish. It festers. The weeds of unresolved pain grow wild in the mind, choking out the vision of possibility, until life itself feels like a prison. But the moment you stop fleeing, the instant you choose to look pain in the eyes, its chains dissolve, and its wisdom begins to pour into your being. Pain, when embraced with awareness, transforms into guidance. It shows you where you are weak, so you may become strong. It exposes the illusions you have clung to, so that truth may set you free. It burns away vanity, pride, and false security, leaving only the raw essence of your authentic self. And it whispers again and again the timeless reminder, growth is the child of struggle. Transformation is the offspring of trial. Think back upon every defining moment of your life. Was it not born in difficulty? Was it not shaped by the fires you thought would consume you? The heartbreak that opened your heart wider, the failure that sharpened your discipline, the loss that deepened your compassion, all were silent instructors, teaching lessons comfort never could. Each left an imprint, a scar, but also a strength. When you understand this, you cease to resist pain. You cease to waste your energy in resentment. Instead, you become a student of it. You lean in, you listen, you ask, what are you here to teach me? And always the answer comes. Not in the instant, not in the heat of suffering, but in the reflection that follows. Pain is a delayed teacher. Its wisdom blooms only when you dare to water it with acceptance. To resist pain is to resist life itself. For no destiny worth claiming comes without struggle. The soil must be broken before the seed can sprout. The stone must be cut before it shines as a diamond. The mind must be challenged before it can awaken to its true potential. In this way, pain is not your enemy. It is your initiation. It is the threshold you must cross to become the person capable of holding the vision you desire. So welcome your silent instructor. Walk with it. Learn from it. Allow it to refine you, shape you, strengthen you. And when others flee from their trials, you will stand firm, knowing what they have yet to discover. The path to abundance, mastery, and transformation is paved not with comfort, but with the lessons pain alone can give. Do not despise your suffering. Honor it. For within it lies the blueprint of your growth, the shaping of your destiny, and the awakening of the power you were born to wield. There comes a moment in every human journey when the weight of struggle grows unbearable. It is the hour when your muscles shake, your will trembles, and your mind screams for escape. This is the pain threshold, the invisible line that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Most turn back at this very edge. They retreat into the familiar, choosing comfort over growth, illusion over truth. But the few who remain, the few who dare to step forward when every fiber of their being begs them to stop, those few discover a power so vast it reshapes the very course of their destiny. The threshold is not an illusion, it is real, and it is merciless. It arrives in your darkest nights and your hardest battles. It whispers, "Quit now, no one will blame you." It tempts you with the sweetness of relief, the false promise of ease. Yet hidden behind that threshold is the life you have prayed for, the strength you have longed for, and the vision you have dreamed of. The question is not whether the threshold will come, it always comes. The question is, will you push through, or will you turn away? Understand this. The threshold is not your enemy, it is the door to your higher self. It appears to break you, but it exists to remake you. When your mind declares, "I can go no further," that is the exact signal that your growth has begun. Every step beyond that point is a step into new territory, where the old self dies and the new self begins to live. Most never reach this sacred ground because they confuse discomfort with impossibility. They believe the burning of the muscles, the trembling of the heart, the chaos of the mind are signs that they are finished. But no. These are signs that they are being reborn. The threshold is the labor of the soul giving birth to its higher form. To stop at this moment is to abort the very destiny that was forming within you. Think of history's giants. Do you imagine they were spared the pain threshold? No. It was their constant companion. Every invention, every discovery, every revolution was born from a man or woman who stood trembling at the edge of despair, yet chose to move one step further. Thomas Edison, after 1,000 failures. Abraham Lincoln, after endless defeat. Every great soul has faced the threshold, and their greatness was measured not by talent or luck, but by the decision to endure where others surrendered. The pain threshold is not the end, it is the beginning. When you walk through it, you awaken parts of yourself you never knew existed. Your capacity expands, your faith deepens, your will hardens into steel, and the voice within you, once faint, grows thunderous, declaring, "I was made for this." But hear me well, the threshold demands surrender, not the surrender of defeat, but the surrender of resistance. You must stop fighting the presence of pain and instead walk with it. You must say, "Yes, I feel you. Yes, I hear you, but you will not master me." And with that you take the step that changes everything. Life has a law. What you avoid expands, but what you embrace transforms. Avoid the threshold, and you will face it again and again, each time weaker, each time more enslaved by fear. But embrace it, push through once, and you create a memory etched into your very spirit, proof that you can endure, proof that you can rise, proof that no threshold can hold you again. And so I say to you, when the moment comes, and it will, do not run. Stand in it. Feel the fire and step through. For on the other side lies the life you have been seeking, waiting, longing for. The threshold is not the wall that ends your path. It is the gate that opens to your destiny. Fire has never existed to destroy alone. Its greater purpose is to refine. And so it is with the fire of your trials, your disappointments, your sleepless nights, and your battles with doubt. These are not punishments. They are the instruments of transformation. They come not to reduce you to ashes, but to burn away the illusions, the weaknesses, and the false masks that have hidden the strength already within you. Pain does not merely test you, it shapes you. It sculpts you into a vessel capable of carrying the weight of your destiny. Without the refining fire, your dreams would collapse under the frailty of an unprepared spirit. You cannot walk into greatness with the identity of the untested. You must be forged, purified, and made unbreakable. Understand this truth. You are not the same person after the fire. What was soft becomes firm. What was uncertain becomes resolute. The shallow ambitions you once held fall away, and in their place rises a purpose so clear that no storm can obscure it. Fire demands a price, but in paying it, you become something more, something greater, something untouchable by the ordinary struggles that once defeated you. Look closely at the lives of those who have risen to command their destinies. Without exception, they walked through their own fire. Some faced betrayal, some poverty, some ridicule, some the crushing weight of failure. Yet from these flames emerged a new identity, disciplined, resilient, certain. They became masters of themselves, and in mastering themselves, they mastered life. And you too are called to this furnace. Do not resist it. Do not cry out for it to pass from you. Instead, stand still in its heat and whisper to yourself, "This is not my end. This is my becoming." For every blaze you endure becomes a part of your essence, and every scar becomes proof of your rebirth. What the fire gives you cannot be stolen. Wealth may vanish, friends may betray, circumstances may shift, but the character forged in fire remains forever. It is your greatest treasure. It is the one possession that no thief can touch, no storm can sweep away. When you rise with this identity, you rise beyond fear, beyond doubt, beyond defeat. Hear me well. Destiny does not demand comfort. It demands worthiness, and worthiness is carved into the soul only through struggle. Each trial is a chisel, shaping you into the image of the person your vision requires. You may not yet see the masterpiece being carved, but trust that every strike is precise, every cut is purposeful, every flame intentional. One day, you will look back at the fires you thought would consume you and realize they were the very forces that completed you. You will no longer curse the trial, you will thank it, for without the fire you would have remained ordinary. With it you became extraordinary. The question is not, will the fire come? It will. The true question is, will you emerge from it as ashes or as gold? Choose to let the flames refine, not consume. Choose to let the chisel shape, not shatter. For in doing so, you step into your highest identity, the one strong enough, worthy enough, and disciplined enough to hold the life your destiny has promised. The fire is not the enemy. The fire is the sculptor. And you, my friend, are the masterpiece in the making. There is a voice that whispers when you hurt. It tells you that the pain will never end, that you are too weak to endure, that you are cursed, forgotten, broken beyond repair. It creeps into your thoughts in the midnight hours and convinces you that suffering is your identity. But hear me clearly. That voice is a liar. Pain may speak, but its voice is not the truth. The truth is this. Pain is a sensation, not a sentence. It moves through you, but it is not you. It is the storm passing overhead, not the sky itself. Yet most men mistake the thunder for eternity. They hear the roar of discomfort and surrender to it as though it defines their existence. They bow to a phantom, and in doing so, they hand over their power. To awaken is to step back, to detach, to see pain not as master, but as messenger. The sting of suffering is real, but it does not own your name. It does not possess your identity. You are more than the trembling of your nerves, more than the ache in your heart, more than the weight upon your shoulder. You are the one who perceives the pain, which means you are greater than the pain itself. Understand this sacred separation. Pain is temporary. Identity is eternal. The fire burns for an hour, but the gold remains forever. When you believe the voice of suffering, you chain yourself to a false identity. But when you step back, when you say, "This pain is not who I am, it is only what I feel," you reclaim your throne of power. Consider the strength of those who endured the unendurable. They were not superhuman, nor untouched by agony. What they possessed was the discipline of detachment. They knew how to let the voice of suffering howl without letting it command. They felt the fire on their skin, but they refused to let it write their destiny. And because of this, they acted with power even in the furnace. You too have this ability. In every moment of pain you are offered two choices: to drown inside the voice of suffering, or to rise above it as the witness. The first path leads to despair, the second to dominion. For once you see suffering for what it is, a passing sensation, not an eternal identity, you discover a new kind of freedom. You realize that pain may accompany you, but it does not have the authority to guide your steps. Detachment is not denial. It is not pretending that hurt does not exist. Detachment is mastery. It is the power to look suffering in the eye and say, "You may touch my body, you may stir my emotions, but you will not define my soul." This is the strength of kings, the resilience of warriors, the wisdom of saints. And this detachment grants you something greater, the ability to act while others collapse. For when men are ruled by suffering, they hesitate, they shrink, they retreat. But when you detach from the voice, you can move forward with clarity, even while the ache lingers. You can build when others break, endure when others escape, rise when others sink. Do not believe the lie that your suffering is forever. Nothing in life is forever but the spirit within you. Every flame cools, every storm passes, every wound finds its healing. Yet what remains, the strength you gain, the identity you forge, the wisdom you carry cannot be taken. Detach, my friend, and you will see the truth. Pain is not the enemy. Attachment to its voice is the enemy. Free yourself from that voice, and you will hear another, the voice of destiny, the voice of vision, the voice of power that has waited beneath the noise of suffering all along. You are not what you feel. You are far greater. And once you live from that truth, no pain on this earth can ever own you again. Growth is never born in ease. Strength is never born in comfort. Just as the body builds its muscle against the pull of iron, so the soul forges its power against the weight of hardship. Resistance is the law of expansion. It is the divine design by which you are stretched beyond yesterday's capacity into tomorrow's greatness. Understand this. What breaks you today, if embraced and endured, will become tomorrow's warm-up. The burden that once bent your back will one day rest lightly in your hands. The storm that once left you trembling will one day feel like a breeze at your face. This is the law of progressive resistance, the law that whispers, keep pressing forward, for each challenge conquered enlarges your capacity for life itself. But most men, when the weight is placed upon them, cry out for escape. They run from resistance, not realizing they are running from growth. They curse the heaviness, not seeing it as the very tool by which they are being sculpted. And so they remain small, fragile, unprepared for the vastness of their own potential. You must not make this mistake. When hardship comes, and it surely will, recognize it as the gymnasium of the soul. Every trial is a barbell placed in your hands. Every disappointment, every delay, every rejection is resistance designed to expand you. Do not despise the weight, use it, for in lifting it you grow into the man or woman your destiny requires. Consider this truth. The universe never wastes difficulty. There is no resistance without reason. Every ounce of pressure has been permitted to develop a strength that ease could never grant you. The diamond is born only under pressure. The oak tree grows only when the storm shakes its branches. And you become unbreakable only when life demands you rise again and again against the pull of hardship. This law does not ask you to enjoy the pain. It asks you to endure it with purpose, to understand that each test, though unwelcome in the moment, is a gift in disguise. And with each passage through the fire you are less fragile, more resilient, more prepared for the abundance waiting ahead. Think of the seasons of your own life. The struggles that once made you tremble, you now look back on and smile. What once seemed unbearable is now the very foundation of your strength. This is proof that the law has already been at work within you. What was heavy has become light. What was impossible has become routine. And if you refuse to quit when the weight grows greater, you will rise to heights beyond your imagining. Remember, the soul, like the body, must be trained. No man builds strength without resistance. No spirit gains wisdom without trial. If you run from resistance, you remain forever weak. If you embrace it, you grow into mastery. So when hardship next knocks at your door, do not curse it. Welcome it as your instructor. Let it press upon you, for in that pressing you will be shaped. And as you grow, you will find that nothing external can truly defeat you. The world may send its storms, but you will stand as the oak. The world may heap its weights upon you, but you will lift them with steady hand. This is the law of progressive resistance. Life does not weaken you, it strengthens you if only you keep moving forward. Rise into this truth and you will discover that there is no weight too heavy, no burden too great, no trial too consuming for the soul that has learned to grow through resistance. There is a sacred secret hidden in the very thing you most desire to escape, that burning ache, that unrest within your chest, that sting in your spirit. It is not random. Pain is not a meaningless tormentor. Pain is a compass pointing you toward the very territory you are called to master. Understand this truth. Life does not send you pain to crush you, but to direct you. Where you feel discomfort most intensely, there you will often find your greatest calling. The weakness you fear to face holds the seed of your strength. The rejection you wish to forget contains the key to your influence. The problem you avoid again and again is the very gate you must walk through if you are ever to be free. Most men run from this compass. They dull its signal with distraction. They silence it with excuse. They mask it with false comfort. But pain does not vanish simply because you turn away. It grows louder, heavier, until one day it becomes unbearable. And still it points, always it points. Until you choose to see, until you choose to follow, it will not rest. The prisoner is not the one who feels pain, but the one who flees from it. For in fleeing he builds walls around himself, walls of fear, walls of avoidance, walls of unfinished battles. His captivity is self-made, and year after year he wonders why the same discomfort returns, why the same struggles repeat. It is because he has mistaken the compass for the enemy, when in truth it was the guide. Hear me now, the thing you most resist is the very place where your soul demands growth. Do not despise it, follow it. If fear tightens its grip when you speak, then your path is to find your voice. If sorrow shadows your heart in loneliness, then your task is to step into love and connection. If your body trembles under the weight of discipline, then your destiny is masked. Do not curse the direction of your pain. It is the universe whispering, here is where you must go. Here is where you must grow. Think of the men and women who shaped history. Their greatness was never discovered in the absence of pain. It was unearthed by walking directly into it. The inventor faced the ridicule of failure, yet pain guided him to persistence. The leader bore the weight of rejection, yet pain pointed him toward resilience. The healer endured the sting of loss, yet pain directed her into compassion. Always it was the compass of discomfort that drew them to the very work they were born to do. So ask yourself now, what pain stalks you? What discomfort haunts you at night? What restlessness stirs within when you silence the noise of the world? That is not a curse. That is your compass. That is your path calling. You must choose to confront it. You must walk into the storm rather than away. For on the other side of the pain you resist lies the freedom you seek. To avoid the compass is to prolong your captivity. To face it is to be set free. Imagine for a moment that you trusted this truth. Imagine looking at the very thing that once terrified you and declaring, you are not my enemy. You are my direction. Imagine what power would be unlocked within you if you embraced the discomfort instead of fleeing from it. The law is clear. Pain reveals purpose. Do not waste the signals. Follow them with courage. Walk where they point, and you will find that what once seemed unbearable becomes the very foundation of your mastery. This is the paradox of life. The wound marks the way. The ache holds the answer. The fire you fear is the very light that will guide you home. Therefore, the next time pain rises, do not turn your back. Face it. Lean into it. For it is not here to destroy you. It is here to direct you. And in following its compass, you will step into the fullness of your destiny. There comes a sacred hour in every life. The hour when pain, once feared as the master, is revealed as the servant. This is the turning point. It does not arrive because your wounds have disappeared or your struggles have ended. It arrives because you have chosen to stand taller than the voice of suffering. Understand this truth. Liberation is not the absence of pain, but the absence of its authority over your decisions. You cannot always silence the ache, but you can strip it of its command. Pain may whisper, but you no longer bow. Pain may roar, but you no longer retreat. This is the moment of inner sovereignty, when you reclaim dominion over your own spirit. For too long, men and women walk in chains, believing discomfort dictates their path. They yield to fear because it trembles in their chest. They avoid opportunity because it stings their pride. They choose safety because uncertainty pricks their nerves. And in doing so, they make pain their ruler, their law, their invisible tyrant. But there is another way. The day arrives when you confront the discomfort head on, and though it shakes you, though it burns you, you continue forward. And suddenly you discover that the hold is broken. The pain remains, but its power has dissolved. It no longer writes your story. This is the secret. Sovereignty is born not by waiting for pain to vanish, but by refusing to let it steer the ship. The discomfort may sit at the table, but it will not hold the pen. You write, you choose, you live. Think of the warrior who fights while wounded. His injury does not vanish in battle, yet it no longer controls his hand. Think of the creator who works through doubt. The uncertainty does not disappear, but it cannot stop the stroke of the brush or the strike of the chisel. This is the truth of mastery. The obstacle remains, but it is dethroned. And in that dethroning, life transforms. Decisions once avoided become possible. Doors once feared swing open. You step into the very arena that once seemed unapproachable. You rise, not because pain has gone silent, but because it has lost its command. I tell you now, the moment pain loses its power is the moment you awaken to your highest strength. It is the dawn of true freedom. You are no longer a captive of your sensation. You are no longer tossed about by the winds of emotion. You are anchored, sovereign, unshakable. This does not mean you will never feel fear, sorrow, or struggle again. It means they will never again hold dominion over your soul. You will act even when afraid. You will love even when scarred. You will move forward even when resistance cries out. That, my friend, is the definition of true power. So hear me clearly. Do not wait for pain to vanish before you move. Move and the grip of pain will vanish. Do not wait for fear to quiet before you speak. Speak and fear will kneel. Do not wait for perfect peace to begin. Begin and peace will find you along the way. This is sovereignty. The courage to act while the voice of pain still echoes. The wisdom to walk while the ground still trembles. The strength to choose destiny over discomfort. And once you have tasted this liberation, you will never again surrender the crown. For you will know, beyond doubt, that the power was never in the pain. It was always in you. Every man and woman is handed pain, not as a punishment, but as a raw element, like uncut stone, heavy and jagged in the hand. At first, you curse it. You ask why such weight has been given to you. You wish it away, hoping for lighter burdens, softer roads, gentler days. But the truth, eternal and undeniable, is this. The stone was given to be carved. The fire was given to forge. The wound was given to awaken the power within you to transmute it. Do not despise your suffering. Do not waste your tears. Do not cast away your sorrow as if it were useless. For within each trial lies a secret spark, a hidden energy waiting to be harnessed. The strongest souls you will ever meet did not arrive at greatness because life spared them hardship. They arrived because they discovered how to turn hardship into fires. They learned to gather the broken pieces and fashion them into fuel. Think carefully. What is pain but concentrated energy? It presses upon the mind. It stirs the heart. It floods the spirit. Left unattended, it festers, poisons, destroys. But when seized with intention, when directed with will, it becomes a current of strength no man can measure. The very force that once threatened to crush you becomes the engine that propels you forward. Consider the inventor mocked in his failures, yet each insult sharpened his resolve. Consider the dreamer who lost everything, yet in the ashes discovered a fire that would never again be extinguished. Consider your own life. Every wound you carry has within it a hidden reservoir of fuel, awaiting your command. But here lies the choice. Will you let your pain consume you, or will you consume it? Will you allow it to rot in bitterness, or will you distill it into wisdom? The direction is yours. One road leads to captivity, the other to liberation. The secret is transmutation, the alchemy of the soul. Just as coal under pressure becomes diamond, so too can sorrow under discipline become strength. Just as grain crushed becomes bread, so too can hardship broken open become nourishment for your destiny. Every loss can become leverage. Every scar can become strategy. Every tear can water the seed of your triumph. When you learn this, you cease asking, "Why me?" and begin declaring, through me, this pain shall serve. Through me, this failure shall transform. Through me, this setback shall ignite a fire no obstacle can extinguish." Mark this truth well. Those who rise to greatness are not spared from storms. They are those who learn to harness the wind. They are not spared from darkness. They are those who discovered how to strike a match within it. Your pain was never meant to end you. It was meant to end the weaker version of you. It was meant to awaken the greater one. And so I say, let the world bring its trials. Let fate bring its burdens. For each one shall be seized, consumed and transmuted into fuel. You will walk farther because of the weight you once carried. You will climb higher because of the fall that once broke you. You will shine brighter because of the darkness that once engulfed you. This is the law of mastery. Nothing is wasted. Not your failures, not your heartbreaks, not even your deepest regrets. All of it can be gathered, pressed and poured into the furnace of your will, and from that furnace the fire of greatness shall burn. Therefore, when suffering visits you, do not ask for it to leave too quickly. Ask instead for the wisdom to use it well. Ask for the strength to turn it into fuel. For in the end, it is not the pain that defines you. It is what you do with it. And when you have learned this sacred art, you will never again fear hardship. You will welcome it as the miner welcomes the mountain, knowing that hidden within the rock lies treasure untold. This is the triumph of the awakened soul, to burn brighter, not despite the pain, but because of it. There is a sacred way to end the day, and there is a careless way. One builds empires within the soul, the other erodes them. Most men and women let the curtain of night fall upon them in weakness. They slip into bed with thoughts unfinished, duties abandoned, promises to themselves broken. They leave the battlefield of the day as survivors, not as victors. They do not realize that the manner in which they close their day shapes the manner in which they open the next. Hear me well. The way you end your day is the prophecy of how you will live your life. If you end in avoidance, tomorrow begins in hesitation. If you end in conquest, tomorrow begins in strength. Pain visits all men. Fatigue whispers to every heart. At the end of the day, when your energy runs low and your defenses weaken, excuses grow louder. The mind tempts you with comfort. Leave it for tomorrow, rest now. You have done enough. Yet the truth is this: postponement is the seed of mediocrity. Delay today, and tomorrow inherits that delay. Soon your very life becomes a series of postponements disguised as plans. But there is another way. Instead of ending the day in surrender, you may end it in mastery. And mastery requires but one thing: a decisive step into your discomfort before the day closes. This step need not be grand. It need only be true. Consider this: the warrior does not wait for courage to arrive. He acts, and courage joins him in the act. The coward waits for feeling to precede motion. The sovereign knows that motion creates the feeling. You must therefore decide that before your head touches the pillow, you will do one thing that stretches you, one thing you would rather avoid, one thing that proves to your soul that you command your hours. They do not command you. Perhaps it is the phone call you have delayed, though your heart knows it must be made. Perhaps it is the final page of work when your mind says you are finished. Perhaps it is the reconciliation with a friend you have postponed for years. Or perhaps it is the simple discipline of pushing your body through the last set, writing the last line, speaking the last truth. Do not measure the worth of the act by its size. Measure it by its honesty. A small victory, honestly chosen, weighs more than a grand performance faked for applause. For each night that you close with a step into discomfort, you lay another stone in the foundation of mastery. Ask yourself how many men go to bed each night saying, "Tomorrow I will begin." And how many tomorrows must they waste before they see that they are imprisoned by their own delay? Their souls grow weary not because of the weight of the task, but because of the burden of avoidance. Now imagine the man who, no matter how small the act, ends each day by keeping his word to himself. He calls it a victory, and lets that victory rest on his chest as he sleeps. He does not dream as a defeated man. He dreams as one who has proven sovereignty over his hours. That man, though his victories are small, will one day awake to find that his life itself has become a victory. The law is this: momentum is created at the edge of the day. How you close the night dictates the power of the morning. A man who ends in retreat awakens already defeated, but a man who ends in mastery awakens already advancing. There will be nights when the weight feels unbearable, when resistance is thick, when every fiber within you whispers, "Not tonight." Those are the nights that decide your destiny. For when you conquer in the hour of fatigue, you prove once and for all that your will is greater than your weakness. Such victories are eternal, echoing long after the task itself is complete. Do not think mastery is built in grand moments of public triumph. It is forged in the private closing of your days. The world may never see the choice you make at midnight, but the universe takes account, your subconscious takes account, and life itself bends toward those who prove consistently that they are greater than their excuses. Therefore, before the last light fades, do not ask, "What do I feel like doing?" Ask, "What action will affirm my sovereignty?" Then move without hesitation. Speak the words. Take the step. Finish the work. Let the act be your seal upon the day. When you end the day in this way, you cease to be a mere passenger drifting through hours. You become the captain of your time. You stop enduring and start commanding. You no longer fear the night, for you know you have conquered the day. So I say to you, end not as one who endured pain, but as one who mastered it. End not as one who postponed truth, but as one who lived it. End not as one who cowered before discomfort, but as one who turned discomfort into victory. Close the day with mastery, and you will awaken with power. Close the day in retreat, and you will awaken in chains. Choose mastery. Choose sovereignty. Choose the act that proves who you are. For destiny is not written in the morning sun. Destiny is written in the final hour of the day, when the weary decide to rise once more.